I don't believe in politics because according to me, I think politics is a dirty game. So I don't believe in politics.
Trono, do you agree with Benson, or do you have another thought?
Okay, for me, I don't quite believe, sikubaliani naye sana kwa sababu looking back at political figures in the past, people like Martin Luther Jr., they ended up bringing changes in America. They helped to fight discrimination, racial discrimination, and he was a politician. Coming to Thomas Sankara from Burkina Faso, he was a figure of empathy, and he was the president, a political figure who brought good things in his country and is remembered for that decades after he was murdered. Come to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. He was a political figure who believed in Kenyatta while Kenyatta was in prison. He believed that Kenyatta had the power and the mandate to lead Kenya. So I do believe in politics partially and partially not.
Okay.
Looking at figures like Hitler, he brought a lot of pain to the Jews to this date.
Yeah. So, but on your point on Hitler, was Hitler really in politics, or was he in what do we call this? You take something kwa nguvu. What is that? Dictatorship.
Yeah, he was a dictator, but still, alikuwa political figure mwenye alileta uchungu sana kwa Jews. Up to this date, wanaumwa bado na hiyo Kenya alifanya. Tukiangalia dictator mwingine kama Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi was a dictator, but alileta maendeleo mingi kwa nchi yake na hata Afrika.
So, my dear friend, as you answer your question, do you believe politics has changed? Like, as you answer, do you believe in politics? Has it changed? Ama ni ile tu ya kitambo yenye tuliipata imechange?
Okay, personally, I feel like politics is not something that you can believe in. You see, it's not religion, it's not something about faith, it's something that is there. You know, ni kitu yenye ina to involve, like from old people to young people, ina to involve, see what. So it's not a matter of believing it, it's a matter of being in it. You see, so right now, the political times zenye tuko, we are forced to be in politics in itself, because ina to involve. When I was growing up, grow up, like sijakuwa very exposed to mambo politics, but as soon as nime come out to huku nje, like vitu zimeanza ku feel the weight of everything that is happening around me, and najua it is directly involved with the leadership that is there. So personally, me, I know politics ni kitu yenye involve kila mtu, whether you believe it or not. The second thing is, umeniuliza if it has changed from back then, okay? And I feel like it has, because now it is not just more of political leaders, but more of the people in itself. Because as far as you have seen, Umona, how young people have come out to express themselves when it comes to talking matters politics. How people have come to the streets who ongelelea matters politics. So it's a matter of like expression right now from the people, rather than just political leaders going around and expressing their own themselves and kuji campaign. Now it's people also giving feedback of what is happening. Kenya wameleta wanarudisha feedback, you know. So I feel like from back then it may change in a way that it is more unified for the people, and also people have a louder voice when it comes to politics.
Okay. 2 term, 1 term, no term. Benson, 2-term, 1-term, do you really believe politics is the solution? Unaamini?
I don't think politics is the solution because ukiangalia hata from kitambo hiyo wakati wa Jomo Kenyatta hiyo like politics is in Kenya tunaita vitu kama political game. Unaingia in politics ndio kwa manufaa yako, si kwa manufaa ya public. Ukiangalia watu kama Kenyatta walikuwa na grab land, sindio? So na politics ya sahii ukiangalia kama sahii unapata wenye wako kwa government wakiingia wakipandisha ushuru kuna manufaa wanapata. So sidhani kama politics in Kenya hasikulicha.
Tono, do you have a slogan? 2-term, 1-term, no term. Do you have a slogan?
I don't quite have a slogan, but I do. Okay, I see some changes that our president has brought in the country.
Okay.
While at the same time, I see so many promises that he has not fulfilled.
So do you believe siasa ndio, like, is it the medicine to the problems that we are facing as Kenyans? Do you really believe it?
No, I don't believe that politics is solution ya everything. Because okay, I love reading about one political lead figures wa kitambo, and my favorite happens to be Thomas Sankara. So Thomas Sankara was a president of his country at a young age, just 33 years old. But kwa hiyo 33 years old, the thing that ilifanya alete hizo changes ni empathy. So for me, I believe the medicine to our problems is a figure who possesses empathy.
And no never been, so it means you are young. Are young people, do they really believe in politics as one of them?
Okay, personally, I'm talking about kitu personal because kila mtu ako na feeling about what is going on right now. And some of it is unified, of course, but as a personal opinion, I feel like right now the young people are directly involved in whatever is happening in the country. Okay? Like juzi tu tumepita the 25th of June, and it was basically where young people walitokelezea kukumbuka the memory of what happened back in 2025 time yenye 2024 finance bill ilikuwa inasomwa. Ndio like the young people first time unified mission to kuikata. And right now you see hiyo si kitu eti yenye wasi wengi walipanga, ama it was something that ilikuwa a unified vision among the people, right? So personally, I feel like young people have a remedy in the way that they come together. If young people can come together, they can bring a revolution in the political system. Because right now ni sisi ndio tuko more involved. Like our parents ndio wanatoka in terms of like growing old, and now we are the society. Sisi ndio tunakuwa part of the society. Right now unapata students wanamaliza and wanaingia into the system, wanaingia into the society, and now they make up the society. So if there's this unified vision of we want a leader and to corner unity in bringing someone forth to become the leader of Kenya, then it definitely can happen. Personally, me, I'm a passionate believer of one term. Why? Because ukiweza niuliza, naweza sema our leader ama the president needs to be someone who has a great vision for our country, right? And like when we say venye tuko, you have to look at someone who has a vision and wisdom enough to know the sectors zenye anastahili kuguzia. Right now, education is what brings ndio inafanya bring up people of the society. So someone who invests in education, someone who invests in the people of Kenya, someone who invests in the society right now. Yeah. So utapata, yes, kuna promises amefulfill, but there's a lot of complaints for our president right now. So the upcoming leader, or the leader who is mwenye atakuja, needs to be someone, I feel for me, needs to be someone who has your vision.
Yeah.
So personally, I feel like the youth wako like wanahitaji ku unite to bring forth someone who is better for the country.
Okay, naona una Subaru unataka itakam. Usijali. Labda uletewe ya black ama ya white. In the recent past kumekuwa na historia unataka Subaru gani? Do you believe it's politics or it's just personal arrogance of who is in power? So, do you believe, is it politics which is bad ama ni power? Juu Subaru ukiangalia in a certain way inasaidia kutoa crime. Subaru, my viewers, is kuna magari ambayo unawekwa kwa boot. Hiyo ni Kenyan slogan, eh?
Yeah.
So do you believe, is it power or politics? Which is it, Benz?
Okay, first of all, we need to understand that Kenya is democratic. Because in the constitution, Article 1, kuna hiyo inasema all the sovereign power
belongs to the
people. So,
yeah.
No, there are things we are doing in Kenya politically yenye ukienda kufanya kwa nchi jirani kama Uganda huwezi fanya. So, ukiangalia mtu kama Uganda, mtu kama BCJ, so unaona venye amekuwa tochari. But in Kenya, our politics is so democratic in that you can hold the president accountable. Ndio. Unaweza muuliza mbona amefanya hivi? Mbona amefanya hivi? And I think tukiangalia in the context of one term, two term, kuna vitu tunasahau. So first of all, we need to look at what Ruto has achieved as a nation. Mali ametupata na mali ametufikisha.
Okay.
So ukiangalia the export sector, like export yetu kama nchi increase during the Ruto regime. Sindio? So a lot of things which are happening in Kenya ni tu ile upepo. Tumeshaweka politics ya Kenya mbaya. Sasa tunaenda na hiyo mtindo. Without kuangalia ni nini amefanya. So hata tukiangalia education system ya Kenya, ni the new regime, the Ruto regime. Si watu wameongezewa hela. Sindio? Na fee
imeongezwa,
sindio?
Ndio.
Lakini sasa last month, 2 months ago, pesa ya ECD alikuwa natoa 96 bob. ECD. Which is not even enough. Kwa kitabu tukiangalia CBC sahihi wanaandika na repo.
Na vitabu mingi.
Na 96 bob ndio hivi moja repo moja. So kuna vitu tuna neglect kama citizens. Kuna zingine amefanya nzuri, kuna zingine ni nzuri. So iko tu hapo katikati, hizi sema hii government buy, government katikati.
Okay, Benson, unachezea hapo katikati. Hautaki Subaru. Unataka
sitaki Subaru.
Uko katikati ya Subaru. Okay, the next question is ulijibu yes or no. Don't engage. So should youth join politics and form parties?
Okay, the answer is yes and no. Okay, briefly, With the recent hasira zenye youths wengi wako nazo for now, if they joined politics, it will be utter pandemonium. Yeah.
Yes or no?
For sure.
They should.
They should.
Okay.
I feel like the youth have a voice.
Okay.
And they need to express it. Like just when you're in the Constitution, Article 33, we have a right for expression. Yeah? As long as we do not deliver hate speech and we do not negative, but incite violence and we have a freedom of expression. And when you're trying to we are part of the society. So I feel like the youth need to be listened to voice their concerns about our country. Yeah.
Benson, yes or no?
I think it's a no. It's a no.
Okay. That's a wrap for us. Thank you for tuning in. Tupatane next Tuesday, same place, same venue, and same time. Thank you.
A very good morning to you. Many thanks for joining us this morning right here on KUTV's Biashara Tuesday, a show that keeps you informed, updated, and of course educated on matters business, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Today being a Tuesday, we have a lot in store for you on matters business, entrepreneurship, and this morning we are focused on innovations from research to implementation, sustainable projects that are implemented in the country, whether it's from research in the country or away from the country. Joining us this morning, later on the first launch, will be Mercy Waigwa, who is a developer and a computer science professional, and currently overseeing a project right here in the country that seeks to provide water to underserved communities. So that discussion will be coming up shortly later on during this coverage this morning. And of course, we shall be talking about a range of issues from innovation. How is technology affecting us as a country? How can Africa solve its own problems by having research that are based on their own problems other than depending on what is produced by foreign nations, or what we normally say kutoka maju. So that is a discussion that we shall be having later on right here. And of course, we shall also be talking on the state of the nation. This shall be on the newspaper review. Joining us this morning will be Flavian Mudhoni Mugambi, who is a youth leader from Kiambu County. And of course, we'll also be joined by Amani Joshua, who is a national coordinator of the Linda Mwananchi. It's not a party, it's not a coalition, so let's just say Linda Mwananchi movement. So those are the ones who will be joining us this morning to talk about the state of the nation, which is currently in hot conversations, especially surrounding goons, and an appeal to ensure that the country does not get into chaos. And of course, this is in relation to what transpired over the weekend, and of course a report that was released yesterday that Kenya is likely to experience violence in the 2027 general election, and that is kept at 87% chances of violence in the 2027 general election. Of course, this is precast by what will be transpiring in Olkalau on Thursday during the by-elections in Olkalau, and of course all eyes are now on the UDA party, and of course the DCP party, who are the biggest rivals in the by-elections. We've seen so many goodies taken to the region. We've seen a lot of national and local politics happening in the region. Right now, at the moment, the campaigns are done, so they're just waiting for the elections that will be happening on Thursday. And of course, in relation to the elections, a lot has been talked about in the country concerning IEBC's preparedness to tackle the 2027 elections following the jitters that were ongoing last week of a possibility of postponement of the by-elections. So we are to look at that and see what transpires during that. And back at home, right here in Kenyatta University, we have roughly 2 days to our graduation ceremony. That is the 59th graduation ceremony, which is themed Youth Engagement for Co-Creation of Inclusive Education. The theme is almost similar to what we shall be having this morning, because we are having research and how we can create solutions to our own problems as a region or as a country. That is the theme of the 59th graduation ceremony that will be happening right in Kenyatta University on Friday, the 17th of July, 2026, from the main campus. You're all welcome. We shall be covering that live. It shall be live on all our platforms. It shall be live on Kenyatta University Television, so you can always follow up with that. And wish your loved ones send your loved ones congratulatory messages if you cannot be able to be here with them. So that will be happening later on during the week. A very great event right here in Kenyatta University, because for all the years that we all been here, that is the one thing that we all await, the graduation that sets your foot to the job market as you conclude your studies. Those are discussions that we shall be having right here. And of course, at this time, I want us to take a look at what is happening on the roads, and of course, the weather update in different parts of the country. All right, it is exactly 27 minutes past the hour, and I'm looking at the weather in different parts of the country. To set us off, we'll begin with the Mombasa in the coastal region. Right now it is 24 degrees Celsius. It feels like 26 degrees Celsius, quite higher. And the day will mostly be cloudy, with temperatures expected to be rising to up to 28 degrees Celsius in Mombasa. Moving forward to Kilifi County. Right now it is 25 degrees Celsius. It feels like 27 degrees Celsius, quite higher than Mombasa County. It is also mostly cloudy, and the temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 28 degrees Celsius as well. So in the coastal region, the temperatures or the weather is quite right for a good day out. In Mandera County, the northern part of the country, right now it's 26 degrees Celsius. It feels like 27 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 36 degrees Celsius. It is quite hot in Mandera, and the day will mostly be sunny in Mandera. Moving forward to Isiolo, it is 21 degrees Celsius. The day will mostly be sunny, and the temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 31 degrees Celsius in Isiolo County. In the Nyanza region in Homa Bay County, right now it is 21 degrees Celsius, partly sunny, and temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 30 degrees Celsius throughout the day, and there is no sign of precipitation in Homa Bay County. In Kisumu County, right now it is 21 degrees Celsius. It feels like 24. Temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 29 degrees Celsius. And of course, there is no likelihood of precipitation in the region. In the western part of the country, Kakamega, 18 degrees Celsius. Feels like it. And the day will mostly be partly sunny. Temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 28 degrees Celsius. And coming back to areas close to us, we have Kiambu County. Right now it is 13 degrees Celsius, quite cold. And it feels like 14 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 25 degrees Celsius because the day will mostly be cloudy. So it will be alternating between cold and you receiving tiny drops of sunlight throughout the day. And finally, in Nairobi, it's also 13 degrees Celsius and it feels like 14. It will also be mostly cloudy in the day. Temperatures are expected to be rising to up to 26 degrees Celsius. So the weather is going to be a little cold in Nairobi, or let's just say the central part of the country. The temperatures are expected to be quite low. So if you can carry yourself something to cover up because the day will mostly be cloudy. That is on the weather update in different parts of the country. And now, right now, let's take a look at what is happening on the roads. This is on traffic. Just like we are always expecting from Garden City all the way to Pangani Interchange. There is a little bit of heavy traffic this morning affecting those people coming from Kiambu Road, and it's going far into Kiambu Road, not like we're always expecting. So if you're using Thika Road and you'll be passing through Allsops, ukipanda kule juu kwenda town, you're going to be staying on the road for quite some time. Moving forward to another area that there is a very heavy traffic. It is watu wanatoka Utawala using the Eastern Bypass and joining to Mombasa Road. You're going to be staying on the road for quite some time. Of course, this is affecting those coming from Embakasi because you'll either be using Outer Ring Road or you'll be using the Eastern Bypass, or if all goes well, you'll be using Jongo Road. So if you can use Jongo Road and you're along the Outer Ring Road, if you can use Jongo Road, the better for you, because Jongo Road today looks quite okay except around the stages. That is the bus stops. So if you're using those routes, you're going to be staying on the road for quite some time. Another area that we are seeing heavy traffic is kutoka kule juu Kilimani. If you're coming from those sides, you're also going to be staying on the road for quite some time, especially around Yaya Center. But the traffic is moving, not as we see in Thika Road and of course Utawala. And just as we always expecting areas around Nyayo Stadium, roads surrounding Nyayo Stadium, if you're using that route, you'll be staying on the road for quite some time. Those are the areas that I'm seeing heavy traffic. All the other areas, there is traffic, of course, but it is moving by an indication of the yellow markings. So that is on the traffic and the weather update as of 7:33 a.m. this morning. Right, now at this point I want us to take a look at what is happening in terms of news, and this is on our newspapers that you're having this morning. To set us off, we'll begin by the Daily Nation, which speaks directly to the president, saying that President Ruto ended the gun violence, and they're saying that as head of state and government who took oath of office to protect Kenyans' lives and property, the buck stops with you. That is on the People Daily, who are talking directly to the president concerning the matters guns in the country, which have been increasingly getting high in the country. And that story is on page 4. Another story that is given prominence on the People Daily, they're talking of why Kenya still struggles to elect women governors. Another story is the aging workforce crisis staring down at Kenya. Those are the stories that are given prominence on the People Daily. Moving forward to the Financial Standard, they're talking of pension scams, and they're saying that county workers' pension at risk in 2 billion shillings property mess. They're talking of audit queries, where they say that findings have put a lab funds management on the spot, setting the stage for the further scrutiny with oversight bodies, including Parliament's move to investigate the illegal cash flows. That is on the Financial Standard, talking matters pension in the country. MyGov talks of 13.5 billion project, 13.5 billion shillings project to tackle water shortage in 5 ASAL counties. And they're saying that for years, these counties have suffered prolonged droughts, leading to massive livestock losses, wildlife death, and the erosion of community livelihood. Once completed, the project will deliver reliable and sustainable water source, opening up new economic opportunities and strengthening resilience among affected communities. And of course, we shall be asking our guests also on the real crisis that you're having in the country as far as water is concerned, because she also deals with providing it under the project that they are currently taking. So we shall also be asking how dire is the crisis, how bad are we as a country in terms of access to water in the country. And they're also talking of conservation. Government distribute 20,000 gas cylinders to enhance clean cooking. Is it to enhance clean cooking, or is it to increase their popularity among voters? We'll ask our guests later on Newspaper Review. And they're also talking of saving culture. Kindiki announces safeguards for 1 trillion sacco deposits in the country. That is on MyGov. Moving forward to gazeti la Taifa Leo, wanasema kwamba Sifuna amfunika maripoti iliyotolewa jana na Infotrack, na wanasema kwamba Seneta Sifuna amempiku Matiang'i kwa umaarufu kama mgombea mwenza wa Kalonzo mwenye tiketi ya urais ya upinzani katika kura ya maoni iliyofanywa na shirika la Infotrack. Hata hivyo, Rais Ruto anaongoza kwa umaarufu miongoni mwa mwaniaji wa urais katika uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka 2027. This is in relation to the report that was released yesterday, which they're saying that a Sifuna Kalonzo ticket will most likely defeat a Kalonzo, no, I said that wrong. A Kalonzo Sifuna ticket will most likely defeat a Kalonzo Matiang'i ticket. Yes. So a combination between Sifuna and Kalonzo will win more votes than a combination between Matiang'i and Kalonzo. And of course, I'm not mentioning the others because they could not be found. You see, we always mention top 3. So those are the top 3s: Matiang'i, Kalonzo, Sifuna, and of course, President William Ruto. And something to also note that is that current Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, is still the most preferred running mate of President William Ruto. Sasa sijui ODM watafanya nini kwa sababu wao wanataka power. I don't know what will happen to them, because the report says that Kindiki is still the most preferred candidate. And this is just a maoni that was carried out. It's still not election, so we cannot rule out that, you know, the president is now the leading person in the country. But of course, we have conversations in the street that nani atamtoa. And he's the one who is currently leading. But of course, the report also says that despite all the combinations, none of them is still able to bag 50% of Kenyans' votes. So I don't know how that will transpire, because we have a policy of 50+1 votes for you to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. That is kwa gazeti la Taifa Leo. The Standard are talking of the irony. Still on matters goons, and they've given the faces of Interior Cabinet Secretary, Interior PS Raymond Omolo, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, and of course IG Kanja, who are whose faces are presented there, and of course with the background of the office of the president. And they're talking of the irony of this, where our policemen are taken to Haiti to ensure that there is peace and calm, but in the country we still have a problem of goons that are currently rising in the country. So that is a story that is given prominence on the Standard. That is on the Standard. Moving to the Daily Nation, talking of a similar story to what we have been presented with on Taifa Leo, because of course they are coming from the same company. The Daily Nation are talking of no clear winner. That is the opinion poll from Infotrack, and they've given percentages of possible leaders who are presented there. We have State House race, President William Ruto leading with 32%, followed by Kalonzo 13, Sifuna at 12, Matiang'i at 12 also, Rigiji at 4%, Who put, okay, let me not say that. We have Babu at 3%, Maraga at 2%, and Martha Karua at 1%. So that is according to the opinion polls from Info. For the presidential position, still Kalonzo is leading with 27%, followed by Matiang'i 26%, Sifuna at 19%, Rigiji at 9%, we have Maraga at 3%, Karua at 2%, and the rest over there. So that is according to the report that is given by Infotakt. And of course, they're also talking of all Kalau seat campaigns and Scott suspend MPs 1.5 million fine. That is irregularities that were related to campaign irregularities, according to the Independent. And that is on the newspapers that you're having this morning. And the Star talks about coffee revamp lifts 700K farmers' lives. That matters business in the country. Expensive diapers. 2026-2027. 100 is a government campaign that is ongoing in the country. They're also talking of Sifuna Natembea shake up Ruto's Western game plan. And they're also talking of going, and alarm as forests disappear. Speaker Kenga's rise to helm of Kilifi Assembly. Those are stories that are given prominence on the newspapers this morning on the 14th of July 2026. Later on during the day, we shall be expecting EPRA to release new fuel prices for the next month. So stay tuned for that update as well later on during the evening. Right now, I want us to take a look at what is shaping the world of news. Welcome back. Now, if elections were held today, President William Ruto will win the presidency, according to the latest Infotakt survey released on Monday, followed by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who ranked second with 13%, while former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i tied for the third place with the 12% support each. According to Infotakt survey, Ruto commands support in 5 regions where he enjoys his strongest support in the North Rift with 89%, followed by Mount Kenya North 54% and the South Rift at 46%. Kalonzo's support is concentrated in the Lower Eastern region where he secured 66%. All right. Final appeals to voters ahead of Thursday's mini poll. The Independent Electoral and Boundary IEBC has called on residents to maintain peace as certain curtain officially came down yesterday ahead of Thursday's Olkalau by-election in Nyandarua County. IEBC ahead of the highly contested election.
Public in Olkalau, Nyandarua County have been reminded by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC that they should maintain peace and calm as the campaign period of the Olkalau by-election scheduled for July 16th closes tonight. The commission claims that all preparation for the by-election have been finished in order to guarantee a credible electoral process. Erastus Ethakon has warned that the commission may be forced to halt the Olkalau ward by-election if violence and intimidation or bribery persist. The chairperson said the commission will not hesitate to take necessary action to protect the integrity of the poll. Several individuals have been summoned over alleged voters' bribery as investigations continue.
Election cases are time sensitive. Do you?
Yes, yeah.
So now that you're aware, according to your knowledge, how much time do you have to dispose this matter?
Democratic Alliance UDA has expressed confidence that the exercise will be peaceful and credible, while the Democracy for the Citizens Party DCP has condemned alleged cases of intimidation. The Law Society of Kenya has called on all stakeholders to respect the law and permit Kenyans to vote freely as political tensions rise. Atmosphere has been further heightened by recent violence incidents witnessed on Senator Irungu Kangata, raising concerns over security ahead of the polls. Authorities have, however, assured voters of adequate security as the country awaits the Thursday's by-election results. Yvonne Shirisha, KUTV.
Kila safari huanza kwa hatua moja. Bila shaka, dira ya Boresha Kilimo sasa imepata sura mpya. Boresha Kilimo si kipindi tu, bali ni darasa la vitendo kwa wakulima. Lengo kuu, mavuno bora na tija kwa jamii.
Na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo.
Hapa tutakupakulia maarifa takotia ladha ya kisukari kwenye mazao yako, tukitofautisha punje na mpunga.
Kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha.
Kuanzia maandalizi ya shamba, mbinu za teknolojia ya kisasa hadi sokoni, usikose kutazama Boresha Kilimo.
Ukitaka kujua haya usipime kipimo.
Ungana nami na hodha wako Akida Kasim kila siku ya Jumamosi saa 6:30 mchana na Jumanne asubuhi, nikikuletea shajara kamili za wakulima na suluhisho mashinani.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa, kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha.
Kumbuka, ukipanda pantosha utavuna pankwisha.
undefeated, shall never be defeated.
Every dream begins with a vision, and every vision grows through knowledge. A step towards innovation, a step towards shaping tomorrow. At Kenyatta University, education meets innovation. Here, potential becomes purpose, and the young minds are imparted with knowledge, skills, and technology to transform communities for a better future. We celebrate resilience. We celebrate excellence. We celebrate a generation empowered to co-create the future of our nation and the world. Kenyatta University proudly invites graduates, parents, partners, alumni, and friends to the 59th graduation ceremony on 17th July 2026. For more information, contact the Office of the Registrar Academics on www.ku.ac.ke or call 0208 703092 or 0786 335111. This will be streamed live on KUTV and KU website. Join us as we celebrate achievement, innovation, and limitless possibilities. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Badala ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila uoga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi. Wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi. Hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Miti miti, panda panda, miti miti. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
We know life gets busy, but your well-being is of great importance. At KUTV's Focus on Health, we cut through the clutter, bringing you expert advice to keep you well informed for your well-being and that of your family. Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., join me, Yvonne Kemuma, as we bring you health and wellness right at home.
Wanasema kula uhondo kwa taka matendo, na bila shaka matendo yake yakazaa uhondo. Bidii na panda shuka zake zikamfanya awe mwanga wa dunia.
Pauline Care ni mwalimu wa walimu. Nilijua nilikuwa ninataka kufanya kwa mochari.
Nilijitolea kimasomaso, nikasema manake nimeenda shule kama wenzangu wa kiume, nitafanya kazi kadri na uwezo wangu.
Inafika mahali ile game yenye umesema hiyo ndio naenda ku give up na uachane na boxing, ndio unapata WBC.
Fahamu mwanamke huyu kwa utendeti zaidi ukitazama kipindi cha Mwanamke Mwake Mwake. Kila Jumatano saa 2:30 usiku, ukiwa nami Caroline Kimwele.
All right, welcome back. Apologies for the technical hitch that occurred previously. Now moving forward, the growing wave of political violence linked to alleged hired goons has sparked sharp criticism from leaders across the divide, with many urging authorities to crack down on those orchestrating the attacks while appealing to the youth to reject involvement in such acts. The calls came in the wake of the death of 2 people in Kisumu and the shooting of Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata's driver in Nyahururu, incidents that have intensified concerns over the country's political climate as the 2027 general election approaches. Vincent Karoli reports.
Political violence sparked concern across Kenya, with leaders calling for urgent action to curb the growing trend. The appeals follow recent attacks that disrupted political events in Kisumu and Nyahururu, leaving 2 people dead and Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata's driver nursing a gunshot wound.
Last week we were in Kisii at a market called Keumbu. We were rained on stones. Today we came here to Olkalau and also Nyahururu town. We were first stoned while in church, AIPCA. My vehicle was blocked. It was also confiscated by goons. My driver was injured by police. There was a shooting incident where he was shot. He is currently in hospital.
Kisumu County Commissioner Mohamed Mwabudzo condemned the incidents of goons who attacked Linda Mwananchi team in church, saying politicians should not use youths to settle their own political scores, promising a tight security in the county. Kisumu Governor Anyango also condemned the incident, saying the suspected goons shall be dealt with accordance with the law.
Mobilized yesterday, they did not even know exactly what they were being mobilized for. They were assembled at Victoria Park just to be issued the new pangas and djembe handles and directed to act. I think collectively let us discourage the youth from undertaking such assignments. We have educated and learned youth, because if you look at the life lost, these are very innocent people who were border raiders. So they were just mobilized and told, just go. Money is not always enough. And the leaders who are doing that, shame on you.
The law will be applied firmly, impartially, and consistently. Kisumu County must remain a place where lawful enterprise flourishes, where citizens live without fear.
Kitutu Chache, Member of Parliament Anthony Kibagendi, didn't mince his words by connecting the Ruto's government with the deployment of goons in the country. The Embu County leaders, led by Embu Senator Munyi Mundingi and Embu Women Representative Pamela Njoki, also condemned the cases of goonism, calling for decisive action.
In Nyahururu, we were attacked in church, and later, I believe you have seen how they have disrupted our rally in Nyahururu town. This is a well-organized and orchestrated attack by the state that has sponsored goons and police officers.
IBC fuatilie pali yote itakuwa na shinda. Kama mtu ameleta shinda, huyo mtu hawezi kusimama.
Kwamba ni vibaya sana kama viongozi tutakuwa katika mstari wa mbele kuangazia mambo ya goonism ama wale ambao ni vikundi vile ambavyo vinaangaisha watu katika mikutano ya wanasiasa na mikutano mingine ile ambayo inahudhuriwa na watu wetu wa nchi yetu ya Kenya na kaunti yetu ya Embu.
According to the National Police Service on X, 14 suspects arrested over the recent violence in Kisumu and Nyahururu were arraigned in court on July 13th to face various charges, warning that it will not tolerate violence or disruption of public order, saying offenders will face the full force of law, while reaffirming its commitment to protecting lives, property and businesses across the country. With the 2027 general election drawing closer, attention is increasingly turning to those suspected of orchestrating the rise in political goonism across the country. Vincent Karoli, KUTV.
Now, the Mau Mau freedom fighters have strongly condemned the rising cases of political violence and the use of hired guns to disrupt political gatherings following the recent violence witnessed in Olkalau and Kisumu. The Mau Mau veterans insist that Kenya must not return to an era of political intimidation and violence, urging political leaders to embrace dialogue and tolerance, calling on security agencies to take firm action against those who organize violence against innocent Kenyans.
Kwa hivyo tunasema kwenye wale sasa wako katika viti wenye wanatuongoza, kwa sababu wazazi wetu walimwaga damu na wakasema isiwahi mwagika tena, na bado sasa mambo yenye inaendelea tunaona nataka tena kutuelekesha kwenye tumetoka, kwa hali ya kumwaga damu, kuuana bure na umaskini na
Now, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Chairperson Dr. David Oginde has challenged Africans to pursue integrity with the same discipline athletes dedicate to sport. And as KUTV's Petra Faith reports, Oginde insists that the continent's greatest achievement should be building societies where integrity defines leadership and public service.
Held under the African Union theme, scaling up the promotion of integrity and anti-corruption actions across Africa. This year's African Anti-Corruption Day commemoration brought together anti-corruption agencies, government officials, the justice sector and development partners to strengthen efforts in preventing corruption across the continent.
When our institutions strengthen accountability, when businesses choose
corruption has become a major development challenge that denies young people opportunities, deprives families of essential public services, and erodes confidence in public institutions.
Let us remember that corruption is not simply a legal issue, but a developmental issue. Corruption steals opportunities from our young people and denies families access to dignified life. Corruption undermines public trust, weakens institutions, and ultimately takes away the hope of the nation. Every act of integrity, however small, contributes to building a stronger nation.
Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Chairperson Dr. David Oginde has challenged Africans to pursue integrity with the same discipline that athletes dedicate to sports, saying the continent's greatest achievement should be building societies with integrity, defines leadership and public service. Leaders also underscored the need for stronger regional cooperation, asset recovery, and the adoption of technology to combat increasingly sophisticated financial crimes, while reaffirming the importance of strong institutions, accountability, and public participation in the fight against corruption. As Africa commemorates this year's Anti-Corruption Day, it has been made clear that defeating corruption will not depend on enforcement alone, but on a collective commitment to make integrity a way of life and foundation for sustainable development.
Now, leaders from Garissa County are urging the national government to fast-track the reopening of the Kenya-Somali border at Liboi, saying the prolonged closure has crippled cross-border trade and slowed economic growth in the northeastern region. The leaders argue that reopening the border will restore livelihoods while strengthening trade between Kenya and Somalia.
The Kenya-Somali border at Liboi has remained closed since 2011, following heightened insecurity linked to Al-Shabaab attacks. Although the government considered reopening the border in 2023, the plan was shelved after renewed security threats. Now the leaders from Garissa County say the continued closure has taken a heavy toll on the region's economy, affecting thousands of families, traders, transporters, and small businesses that depend on cross-border trade. Speaking during a political rally in Dadaab, Garissa governorship aspirant Mohamed Shidie said reopening the border will revive trade, particularly in the livestock sector, which remains the backbone of the northeastern economy.
Mimi nitahakikisha ya kwamba nikiingia governor nitafungua boda ya na niongee na president, inshallah Mungu anipatie nafasi tutaongea na president. Saa hii amani imekuwa mzuri, Al-Shabaab imeenda chini, kila kitu iko mzuri sasa, mpaka tufungue hii biashara ya Kenya na Somalia na pia hata Ethiopia. Livestock market.
Garissa ODM chairman and Dadaab parliamentary aspirant Mohamed Ali Sheikh echoed the call, saying reopening the border will restore economic opportunities, improve regional integration, and facilitate the movement of legitimate goods and services.
Mimi kama chairman wa chama kubwa East and Central Africa wa chama ODM na kuja kuhakikisha ya kuwa watu wa Dadaab, Garissa County wamesema Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto 2 term. Mmesema Ruto ngapi? Ruto ngapi? Ruto ngapi?
The leaders also praised President William Ruto's development agenda in the northern eastern region, citing investments in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and security. However, they maintained that reopening the border should remain a government's priority to unlock economic potential and strengthen relations between Kenya and Somalia.
Ile kipawa alipewa ya kuwa kama rais na kutambulisha wa Somali kama ni wa Kenya halisi, si wa Kenya nusu. Nataka kumshukuru kwa kuturahisishia kutupatia ID. Number 2, nataka kusema ya kuwa His Excellency atusaidie afungue boda ya Kenya na Somalia. Tafadhali tunataka ya boda ifunguliwe.
While security remains a key concern, leaders maintain that reopening the Liboi border is essential for restoring cross-border trade and improving the livelihoods of communities in the northeastern region. Brian Uma, KUTV.
Now, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, has linked the rise in cases of violence and school arson witnessed in various schools across the country to acts of hooliganism that continue to be witnessed across the country, as Milka Thoya now reports.
The Kenya National Union of Teachers has attributed the rise in school violence and assaults to growing hooliganism in the country, saying the behavior being witnessed in society is finding its way into learning institutions. Secretary General Collins Oyol said some leaders have failed to set a good examples for young people. The remarks comes as authorities investigate the fire that destroyed part of Jomo Kenyatta Boys High School in Bahati, Nakuru County, following reported student unrest.
Why do you want to accuse children or learners who are burning schools? Why do you want to accuse hooliganism that is in this country? If as a leader you cannot preach peace, the young men and women are following leaders. The school-going learners burning schools today.
Union remark comes in a wake of the recent fire tragedy at Tutumishi Girls High School, which has renewed concerns over safety and discipline in learning institutions. Oyo urged that addressing school violence requires stronger moral guidance from both parents and the society.
If you think you're doing the best, which of course is not right according to me, kazi iko shida. Nimelaumu wanasiasa kidogo na pia wazazi nitawalaumu. Hizi shule ambazo zinaungua sahihi, my dear parents, you have a hand. You have a hand.
NAT National Deputy Chair Marel Lagat echoed the remarks, saying quality education can only thrive in a peaceful and a secure environment.
Lazima kuwe na hiyo amani ili tuendelee kufurahia na watu
watoto wetu wasome, ili tusiwe na mambo ambayo yanatatiza mashule sana sana. SG, utaniruhusu niseme hii vitu tunaona wakati mwingine ya kukorofishana na migogoro inasaidia kuweka chini mambo ya elimu.
NAT has maintained that long-lasting solution to school violence will require collective action from leaders, parents, teachers, and the wider community to restore discipline and create a safe learning environment.
Now, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has urged women in Bungoma County to lead voter registration efforts and mobilize support for President William Ruto's 2027 re-election bid, saying the Kenya Kwanza administration has delivered on its key development promises. Speaking at the Mabanga Farmers Training Center in Kandui constituency, Wetangula said the government has made significant progress in agriculture, healthcare, road infrastructure, and the construction of modern markets, making a strong case for President Ruto to secure a second term. He also defended the government's decision to lease Nzoia Sugar Company, insisting that the move has revived the factory's operations and ensured farmers received timely payments after years of delays. Leaders from Mombasa County have threatened to reconsider their support for the broad-based government following the demolition of more than 170 houses in Changamwe last Sunday, despite a court order directing that the status quo be maintained. The leaders said the demolitions have left hundreds of families homeless, caused losses worth millions of shillings, and eroded public confidence in the broad-based government. Fatma Mwinyi Hamisi with development.
Leaders led by Mombasa County Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir visited Changamwe constituency and met affected residents, condemning the ongoing demolition. They say the exercise left many families homeless, destroyed business, and disrupted children's education. Even if you kill a man, give him his justice. These were the sentiment of Governor Abdul Swamad, who confirmed that the Mombasa County government stands with the Changamwe resident in the court and will support them in their quest for justice.
Lazima tuhakikishe ya kwa mali ya wale ambao kwamba huahia. Na mimi Mheshimiwa Faki, the county government will enjoin itself in this court process now. Kwa sababu hakuna demolition permit ambao kwamba serikali ya county imetoa, hakuna approval ya plans that the county government of Mombasa did. The demolition, in fact, it was a summit resolution.
Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana called on the national government and the National Housing Corporation to prioritize dialogue with local leaders and residents before carrying out any relocation exercise.
Nataka kuchukua nafasi hii kutoa mwito kwa serikali kuu, National Housing Corporation na ile State Department ambayo inahusika na haya, kwamba before you start implementing the rest of the demolition, hawa viongozi ni viongozi tunafanya na wao kwa serikali, ni viongozi ambao tunasaidia hii serikali kujenga hii serikali.
Changamwe MP Omar Mwinyi questioned why the demolition were carried out despite President William Ruto directive hold forcing demolitions.
Rais wa Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya William Samoei Ruto, ambaye alikuwa amesema kwamba hakuna mtu yoyote atakayevunjiwa mahali popote, ama kusema jamani, na hiyo ni kauli ambayo imepokelewa na watu wote wa pwani kwa furaha kubwa sana. Sasa leo ni serikali ndio inatubomolea manyumba.
Likoni MP Mishimboko said the discharge of court orders has awakened public confidence in the board-based government.
Wajua kitu kama hichi kina affect umaarufu pali pakubwa sana kwa Mheshimiwa William Ruto, ambaye sisi tunampigia upato kama kiongozi wetu na tunampigia upato kwa wakati wa pili tena 2027. Lakini mambo kama haya hatuwezi kukubali yafanyike, kwa sababu mambo kama haya yakifanyika yanatuathiri, yanaathiri vizazi vyetu na yanaathiri watu wetu. Kwani haraka iko wapi? Ino haraka haina haja ya haraka, na sheria nao ni msumeno, inakata mbele inakata nyuma. Hapa kulikuwa na court order ya kwamba kusifanyike zile demolition.
The affected residents have already filed a case in court challenging the demolition, where the Mombasa County government has announced it will support the legal action as the dispute continues. Fatima Munyamisi, KUTV.
All right, now that brings us to the end of our news update this morning. We'll be taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll be coming up with a discussion on how research and, of course, technology moves from research to solving real-life problems. That discussion will be coming up shortly after the break.
The keynote speaker, this is Professor Dunkit K. Nasuma. I also want to, who is the Chancellor, Moy University, and the former Vice Chancellor, African International University and Kabarak Universities. I don't see any member of management here, but I want to also acknowledge the executive deans who are here. I see a few chairmen of departments here. I also want to acknowledge all those full professors who have come to support their students and to also provide leadership as is expected of them. I also see a couple of supervisors here who have done an excellent job to come in mentoring the students up to this stage. All members of staff who are here, and our esteemed PhD graduates, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. I would like to first of all congratulate all of you, all the PhD graduates that are here today. It's been a great effort that you have made, demonstrated resilience and determination that has brought you to this place. Congratulations. Please stand to the graduate next to you and shake his or her hand and congratulate them on my behalf. Those are my special congratulations. Yes, that's what I was looking forward to seeing, smiling faces. And I also want to really thank the supervisors for working with the students to the stage where they have reached now, where they can come and showcase their findings. I know sometimes it is very demanding on the side of the supervisor, because you have a number of students that you're supporting. And the kind of interactions that take place when you're supervising a student for a project, whether master's or a PhD, is not the same as when you are teaching a class, because this is so personalized. And so you get to interact with things that are not within the sphere of purely academic. You get to interact with a real person. And so you have had to support them in one way or the other. And so congratulations again for going beyond the call of duty to support these students to get to where they are. We are very, very proud of you, and we continue to support you to the extent that we are able to make your work a lot easier. Number 3, in 2023, we developed ways as a Senate, documents that came from the division to see how we can do two things: enhance the completion rate of our postgraduate students, but also increase the number of our postgraduate students. When I took over the division, the ratio was 1 to 14. For every one postgraduate student, we had 14 undergraduate students. So we put strategies in place, and I'm so happy because of your partnership as students, supervisors, staff, faculty. We have started seeing our efforts yield fruit. And that is how come then the number of PhDs continue to increase, the number of masters continue to increase who are completing. Right now we are at the ratio of 1 to 4. For every postgraduate student, we have 4 undergraduates. So we have improved very significantly. Can you clap for yourselves? And this has truly taken the partnership and the collaboration of all of you, because when we did analyze the issues that reduces the completion rate, there are issues that pertain to students, there are issues that pertain to the systems within the university. And we committed ourselves that on our part as a university, spearheaded by the division, we will do whatever it takes to remove any bottleneck that might slow you down. And we also did implore on US students that, yes, we know there are challenges with adult education, learning when you have all these other challenges and you have to pay your way up, you have to pay for your fees because not all of you have scholarships. But you have also done your best to take care of those parts that you are responsible of, including responding to the supervisors' comments, inputs on time, so that the delay is not on your parts. I want to say we are not where we wanted to be, but I am happy that we are getting there. So congratulations, and as you complete this, as you come to the end yourself, please mentor the ones who are behind you, okay? So that this continuous improvement will be passed on to the groups that are behind you. And so with those remarks, in my capacity as the DVC in charge of academics, I now want to share with you the speech that was sent to me by the acting Vice Chancellor. And so I'll just read it. I am pleased to welcome you all to the 51st Postgraduate Seminar Showcase for our PhD graduates who are scheduled to graduate on the 17th July 2026. This showcase is a highly cherished tradition at Kenyatta University, availing a rare but very deliberate opportunity for our PhD graduates to interact with faculty, fellow students, and other invited guests as they showcase their research findings. With profound sense of gratitude, I acknowledge the presence of our keynote speaker, Professor Dankit K. Nasuma, the Chancellor, Moi University, who has graciously honored our invitation on short notice to speak to our graduates. Your words of advice will certainly make this occasion more memorable. This gathering, our keynote speaker, reflects the very essence of what Kenyatta University stands for: the creation, dissemination, and application of knowledge. Today, we come together not only to celebrate individual academic achievements but also to engage with ideas that have the potential to transform the society at different levels and in different ways. Allow me to extend my heartfelt congratulations to each one of the graduates. Reaching this stage is no small feat. The journey toward a doctoral degree is often long and demanding, marked by intellectual rigor, perseverance, and resilience. It requires not only mastery of your chosen field, but also the ability to generate original knowledge that contributes meaningfully to the existing societal needs. Today, you stand tall as scholars who have demonstrated intellectual independence, critical thinking, research and innovation excellence, and commitment to solving real-world problems. This showcases your platform to demonstrate the impact and relevance of your research. It is also an opportunity to inspire others to contribute meaningfully to meaningful dialogue. As Kenyatta University, we cheer you on with much pride. In the same vein, I also want to appreciate the university supervisors and faculty members who stood alongside you, often in tireless efforts in the journey to this remarkable achievement. You poured your expertise, your passion, your countless hours into nurturing and fostering the growth of these graduates. You walked with them as they did their coursework, guided them in their research doctorate journey. Thank you so much for your dedication, your mentorship, and scholarly excellence. The theme for this showcase seminar is Youth Engagement for Co-Creation of Inclusive Education. It envisions competence-based, quality and inclusive education that embraces the value of co-creating responsible and ethical education and technology. It is both timely and strategically aligned with national and global development agenda. Education systems worldwide are evolving to recognize that learners, particularly young people, are not passive recipients, but active agents in shaping education system. Co-creation implies collaboration between students, educators, institutions, and communities in designing educational experiences that are inclusive, relevant, and transformative. This theme resonates strongly with Kenya's national development priorities, including the bottom.
All right, welcome back. We are seated, and once we are seated, you know it's about to get down on conversations of business, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Today, like I promised before, we are going to talk about technology, how it turns from research to real-life impact. And this morning, I'm joined by Mercy Waigwa, who is a computer science professional and a developer. She'll be helping us understand how well do we get from, from doing research to now having projects that are really changing lives of our countrymen. Allow me have her introduce herself to you back at home. Mercy, karibu sana.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Mercy Waigwa. I am a site supervisor at Magicom Company Limited, currently overseeing day-to-day operations at the Magicom kiosk here in Kenyatta University. I am also, I hold a degree in mathematics and computer science, with a passion in using STEM to solve real-world problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into Magicom, you are a STEM professional,
yes,
which is something that is not delved in by most young ladies. So talk to us about your inspiration and your experience in STEM.
Being in STEM as a woman has been challenging and has also been inspiring. Like most women in STEM, I've been able to, sometimes I have to prove myself in some projects, but I see that as an opportunity rather than a challenge. I've been able to achieve a lot in STEM. And one of my achievements, I would say, is being able to earn my degree in computer science. Yes.
Currently, when we talk about technology, so many things are changing rapidly. We are the last generation who have lived without AI. So, truthfully speaking, so everything is shifting. Operations are changing. They're being shifted to AI. Today we have AI assistants and all that. So how does someone stay relevant in a rapidly changing technology now that you're in the field? Is it a field where you're continuously going to school, you're continuously learning? How do you stay relevant?
One thing about being in STEM is that you have to keep learning, and learning doesn't stop once you graduate. You have to stay curious. You have to be ready to embrace changes. You have to be open to learning. So for you to succeed and for you to continue being relevant in the field, you have to, as I've said, you have to be curious to learn. We have so many online platforms where you can learn. You can still do like hands-on practical experiences, and you have to keep learning, and that's the beautiful thing about STEM. You have to keep learning. Yes.
All right. Now, you are someone who champions digital inclusion. So talk to us about what digital inclusion means to you and how relevant it is.
So digital inclusion is basically ensuring that everyone, regardless of their age, their gender, their location, is included into the digital technology. They need to have skills and the ability to apply the technology and use it to improve their lives. Yes.
So how important is it? Because in Kenya right now, we have the government working on, last mile connectivity and all that. So we are talking about electricity. Some of the areas are not even connected to electricity. But now we are talking about something else, digital inclusivity, where we are saying that every person, every age should be included. We have generations who have grown up without it and they lived just fine. So why right now digital inclusion? How important is it?
I would say most of the things that are happening right now, they are being done digitally. So for the government, they have to make sure that the infrastructure, the digital infrastructure, is able to reach that people who are in rural areas. And also learning, people are supposed to be taught, especially in schools that are in rural areas. They have to be provided with the technology that is in urban areas for them to keep learning and improving in the technology.
When we are just mentioning technology, and most of the time when we mention technology, someone thinks of these apps, someone thinks of AI, someone thinks of social media. That is when you tell someone technology. But talk to us about other areas of technology that can really help us solve our problems, like the Magicom project. It is solving a problem of lack of water. So talk to us about projects that can really help us solve our own problems as Kenyans, as Africans, apart from talking of apps, which are we mostly get apps from other nations. We talk of WhatsApp, Facebook, but they're not ours. So talk to us about technology that can solve our own problems.
So I'm going to speak more about the Magicom project. So for the Magicom project, we have come up with kiosks, the water kiosks. The water kiosks are able to provide water, clean water, affordable water, and to the community, to the environment, and to the society at large. So this project came up through research. The research was done by our CEO, Dr. Mike, and those kiosks are easy to assemble, and they can also be used in rural areas because they use solar. They don't need electricity to operate. They can still operate using solar power.
Yes.
All right. Now, how difficult is it to turn research to a working thing, especially in Kenya? Is it hard? Is it easy? Talk to us about turning something that you think of, you research of, and turning it into something that is actually working.
It's not as hard, and it's not as easy as well. Research for you to bring a project into work in Kenya, you have to start from way before. It starts way before construction. Sustainability starts way before construction. So you have to interact with people. You have to know the needs of the people, the challenges they are going through. Either it's scarcity, it's affordability, unavailability, or quality of whatever they are missing in the society. And then from there, you have to derive a solution that is able to solve that specific problem in the community. So you have to go through from research to maintenance and improvements. Yeah.
And why is it that we have brilliant ideas, especially from the young people? We see problems, we want to change our country, but then why is it that most of them really don't get to materialize?
Okay, when it comes to projects, there's a whole process of how you're supposed to carry it for it to be successful. First, you're supposed to do research. It starts with research. You do research, you identify the needs, and then after doing the research, you have to involve the community, because the project has to be adapted by the people for it to succeed. The people has to have ownership of the project for it to succeed. So once you've involved the community, you also have to involve the leaders in the community, the county governments, for it to be successful. After that, we have something called financial sustainability. I think that's where most of the projects fail, because you have to be able to finance the project even after the starting money is over. You have to have a project that is able to run without mostly when it comes, for example, in our case, the Magicom project, you have to have a project that is able to supply water to the people and being able to maintain it without necessarily having to overprice whatever you are working with. For our case, it's water. You have to provide the service, the water, without having to overprice it for you to be able to maintain the kiosk. Yeah. So you have to be able to make sure that you are financial prepared for the project. After that, there is the implementation stage. You have to make sure that the infrastructure that you are using to bring the project into life is available, it's of good quality, and it falls under the regulations of either the county government, the environment, depending on exactly what you're dealing with. So after you're done with the implementation, the infrastructure, you have to train the locals or the people who are going to interact with the project one-on-one. So you have to train them on how the project operates, what they are supposed to do in case of what. For example, for us here in Kenya, the kiosk was brought from Cambridge, and then we got trained. For people who are in Kenya, we got trained on how we run the system, everything that is needed, and that way the people that are in Cambridge, they can still run the project without having to be here, because they have trained people to work on it. And then after that, you have to come up with maintenance schedules. You have to come up with ways of improving the system. Like, you have to keep improving the system each and every day for it to be better and for it to be sustainable for a very long period. Yes.
All right. Now, from what I get is that any problem you're solving should not be a copied model from somewhere else. It should be consumer-centered. Now, you've mentioned something interesting, because when I look at all this, if it's consumer-centered, if I am training the people who are operating the machines, if I am doing the licensing from, with my infrastructure, the licensing either from county government, national government, and all that, all this is capital intensive. Do you have any avenues that you think of that maybe someone who is starting up can look for in order to get funding for the project that they're having?
We normally get funding for our project specifically. We get funding from UNICEF. So yeah, I think UNICEF. I don't have.
What does it take to get funding from UNICEF?
You have to have a project, the project idea. You have to show how it's working. You have to show like the impact that it's bringing to the community. I think you have to have the whole model built up for you to be able to have, for us, if you are getting funding from UNICEF, we have to show how the water kiosk is working, how it was brought to life, the benefit it's bringing to the community, and our future, our vision, what we are planning to do in the next 1 year, the next 5 years or so. Yes.
Okay. So you have to be convincing in your pitch.
Yes.
I get it. So what mistakes do most people make when coming up with their projects that probably will see their projects fail? Like we normally say for businesses, if you're starting a business, you need to have, capital and all that. You need to pay rent upfront for 3 months. The business, you should sustain the business from either your pocket for 3 months before it stabilizes.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to projects, what mistakes do people make that will probably have the project failing within the first months after the launch?
I would say failing to do enough research, because the whole point of coming up with a project is doing research and identifying a niche in the community. So if you do research, you don't do enough research, you don't get to identify the specific needs of the people. You might misread the needs that the people have. So you might end up coming up with something that is not necessarily needed, or something that is not necessarily lacking in the community. So at the long run, you find that the project that you're coming up with is not needed. Also, you can have something that is needed, you can do research, but you don't have the financial sustainability. You have everything, you have the idea of what you're supposed to do, you have the project, but for you to bring it to life, you need finances. For you to bring, for our kiosk, for you to bring it, to build it to where it is, you have to have finances. Yeah, so those are some of the things that might make a project not to come to life or not to be sustainable. Yes.
There's always a fear of presenting your projects to scholars, mostly because there's kuibiwa kwa your projects and akili zako for that matter. And what do you think about this, especially for young people who seek guidance? Because if you're not new to in Kenya, you've heard of someone saying that sometimes lecturers wanatumia projects zenye wanapea kuanzisha other things. So there's the fear of protection of your intellectual property. How does it, or how does one protect themselves from such? Because for you to have your ideas to be funded, you have to have a draft of it. We've heard of cases where someone says that I had a project, I presented this project to Safaricom, they did not respond to my email, but then I'm seeing this project running. That's just to give an example. I have a project, I presented to this so-and-so, I gave my synopsis, then I didn't get a response later on. I saw my project being implemented somewhere else without consent, without anything. So how does someone protect their intellectual property? As much as they're seeking funding, like you've said, for UNICEF you have to present how your project works and everything. How do you ensure protection of your property?
Well, I would say you pray to God, but I don't know, you just have to...
The legal aspect of it, I think, is what we are talking about or asking about. Anyway, the future of having data science, technology, and all that. What do you think or advice you'd give to someone who wants to pursue a course in the same data science, computer science, the future of it, especially with the onset of AI and coming to everything, replacing almost everything. Right now you can do programming with AI, you can do almost everything that used to be done initially. So how would you advise someone who is new to the industry and wants to join the industry?
As I had said, technology and STEM is evolving, and it's always evolving. So you have to keep be able to embrace change, be open-minded to learning and everything that comes with it. So especially for women in both genders, if you want to join STEM, it's a very interesting path. But now when you're coming in, you have to know that most things that we used to do before are being done by AI. Everything like you've said, coding, you can create a program using AI, you can create a website using AI, you can create a system that operates using AI, which was before it was being done manually by people. So now when you're coming in, you have to really identify a gap and know exactly what you're coming to do. Don't come in like a programmer, like you want to do programming. Come in with an open mind. For example, you can come in with a project that will need technology and everything that comes with it. Yeah, but you can't just come in and say that you want to be a programmer, because those things are being done by AI. Yeah.
All right. Now, in Kenya's ecosystem, have you identified a gap, especially in the innovative side, that we as Kenyans have, that is preventing us from moving to our full potential as a technology hub in Africa, to say? Because we normally say that we are a business hub of Africa. We are like the Silicon Valley of Africa. Now, do you see any gaps within Kenya's ecosystem in terms of innovation technology that we need to change as a country in order to get to our full potential?
I would say the gaps are always there. We might not be able to identify specific gaps, but the gaps are always there, and the only way you can identify the gaps is by doing research, interacting with people, going to the communities. But yeah, the gaps are always there. We can never stay without a gap in the technology sector. Yeah.
Now talk to us about the future of Magicom.
So Magicom is a non-profit organization that assembles kiosks, the water kiosks. Currently now we have kiosks at the University of Nairobi. We also have kiosks here in Kenyatta University. Magicom plans to have more than 30 kiosks here in Kenya. With funding, we plan to have more than 30 kiosks here in Kenya. That way we are able to provide clean water to communities, to more universities, and to more people in the society. Yes.
Do you expect any support either from government or just UNICEF? Because we have, which newspaper is this? The Star, talking of ASAL communities needing extra boreholes, extra, water to help them serve their livelihoods. Are you planning to partner with the government to serve the same, or is it just within cities?
Yeah, we plan to partner with the government, as well as we are getting support from UNICEF. If we partner with the government, like now we have partnered with the universities, the Kenyatta University, the University of Nairobi. If we can still get support from the government, it can still go a long way, because basically the whole point of the kiosk is to reduce the plastic waste. The water that we are sold using the plastic bottles, you get the same water at the kiosk, and you get to use the reusable bottles. So if we can have more of those kiosks in the country, it can go a long way in supplying people with water. Yes.
Now, any last word to our viewers back at home?
Sorry?
Any last words to our viewers, Makatom, you'd want them to,
I would like everyone to try the Magicom water. We have a very good system that we use to purify water. The water is clean, it's affordable. We sell at 10 shillings for 500 ml, which is way cheaper than the water you get at the shops. Yeah, so you can follow our page, our TikTok page. You can come visit us here at Kenyatta University. We are also at the University of Nairobi. Yes, so come try our water.
All right. I wonder what's different with the other water, because we say imagine.
Maji ni tamu ya Magicom.
Okay. Now that brings us to the end of this first lunch with Mercy Waigwa, who is a front-end development computer science professional, currently supervising on looking at Magicom project in the country. Coming up next is a discussion on the state of the nation, and of course we'll be joined by Flavian Mudhoni Mugambi and Amani Joshua, who are youth leaders in the country, talking to us about everything that affects us as a nation in terms of the state of our nation. Stay tuned for that after the break.
Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode.
We know life gets busy, but your well-being is of great importance. At KUTV's Focus on Health, we cut through the clutter, bringing you expert advice to keep you well informed for your well-being and that of your family. Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., join me, Yvonne Kemuma, as we bring you health and wellness right at home.
And privileged to welcome you for our 51st Postgraduate Showcase PhD Graduate Seminar as a prelude to Kenyatta University 59th graduation ceremony scheduled for 17th of July 2026. Indeed, this is a major milestone in our calendar when we present nominated PhD graduates to disseminate their doctorate research findings and innovations to Kenyatta University community and members of public. Madam Deputy Vice Chancellor, thank you so much for gracing this occasion on behalf of the acting Vice Chancellor, who is engaged elsewhere, but he is with us. He has given us his good support. It is very important for our graduates since it forms the climax of their graduate studies at Kenyatta University when they have qualified for graduation ceremony. And to our keynote speaker, the Chancellor of Moi University, Professor Dankit Nasioma, and your wife. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation as a keynote speaker despite your busy schedule. We know you have been a Vice Chancellor of Kabarak University and African International University, and you know that is among other areas where you have served, including World Bank, Egerton University, and many others. So we are very, very proud to have you. We believe your insight as a scholar, as an educationist, and as a mentor will be invaluable to our graduates and even to the faculty who are here today. Thank you so much. Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of academics, Professor Washeke Wanjohi, allow me to mention that we have successfully prepared 72 graduates so far, and this afternoon, if you allow, we will present 3 more, and that will make a total of 75. And I also want us to note that last year, December graduation, we presented 61 graduates. And looking back, further back, July last year, which is similar to what we are having today, we graduated 45 graduates. Why am I saying this? Madam Deputy Vice Chancellor, I'm saying this because this demonstrates hard work at all levels of the university, and more so at graduate school. I really, really want to applaud people, various players who have contributed to this, because this demonstrates that we've been taking graduate studies in this university very, very seriously, and we are seeing an upward projection in terms of completion, and this is supporting the university. The university has an objective to enhance completion rate, which is really, really a big challenge, not only to Kenyatta University, but to many universities. But the team in the graduate school and all the other players are supporting that mandate and objective of the university to make sure that our students graduate in a timely manner. So we are very, very happy because the number we are presenting today, if I recall, is probably one of the highest. I think it's the highest that our university has graduated for many years. So let's applaud the graduate school team. They have worked very hard. Thank you very much. Many of these students were examined and document processed under, of course, very difficult conditions, and they have gone through, and many times the students feel like the graduate school and the university at large is not supporting them. Many of them want to graduate in a hurry, and many times they view graduate school as a hindrance rather than support. But I want to assure them, indeed, you are our valued customer, and what we do is just to ensure that the quality, the standard set by this university is upheld so that your degrees remains highly valued as our trade name in this university. So thank you very much. We do appreciate you, and you've qualified, there's no doubt, and today we are prouding you, and this is a great, great achievement, because we know we don't allow students to go through without proper quality assurance measures that is enhanced at the graduate school. I know you come collect our doors, you go even to the DVC, but we make sure those standards that enhance quality are upheld. So when you're among the 75 we are talking about, we are really, really proud of you, because we know what you have gone through. For our colleagues who have been supporting us in the schools departments, we really, really want to thank you, because we know this is corrective effort. This is what has brought us this far, and we really, really appreciate you for the support and understanding. Many times I know you feel graduate school is becoming a nuisance. So many calls, so many reminders, but this is what has yielded to the numbers we are producing today. I know many times we've been called names, we've been asked whether you don't have anything else to do than calling me, because that's what we've been doing to get this number where it is, Madam Deputy Vice Chancellor. But we are very, very happy today. So we really, really appreciate everyone. And indeed, for us today, this is a celebration. It is a celebration that starts, that will culminate with the actual graduation, the celebrations that will happen on 17th of July. So we are very, very happy. And I want us to really, really maintain the standards. That is for our colleagues, the deans, the professors of this university, the chairpersons, supervisors. Let's maintain the standards. And let's work and really get where we want to go. I'm sure our Deputy Vice Chancellor will tell you, we are not there yet, because we feel our completion rate is still below where I would like to be. But I believe with the support of everyone, we will be able to get there. With those few remarks, Madam DVC, I now want to take this opportunity to invite you to make a few remarks and then present the acting Vice Chancellor's remarks, and then thereafter invite our keynote speaker to address the audience. Thank you very much.
A big chunk of the strategic plan is towards improving the MSMEs that we have in our fold, not only in Mombasa, but across the coastal region and our country. So ukiangalia in terms of global competitiveness, in terms of access to markets, access to finance, we actually had the SMEs at the back of our heads when we were developing such a strategic plan. Most of the issues that we had, we actually talked to stakeholders, talked to partners, look at the challenges collectively and wholesomely, and came up with a very strong, robust document that will then help us as a chamber to be able to carry out our mandate in terms of, doing better advocacy, highlighting issues that are happening across, and how we can improve business generally. So in terms of industries, value addition, SMEs, scaling up, access to markets, access to finance, it is a very wholesome document that, if used and implemented well with support from the necessary partners, can be able to have a very big impact, cascading, downwards.
And this is a giant achievement, and we are here to wish them well and to commit ourselves to further collaboration with them to ensure that their aspirations become a reality for the good of our two countries, Uganda and Kenya, because trade and investment are our areas of collaboration, key areas of collaboration. Uganda, as you know, Uganda has its goods. 60% of its goods transiting through Mombasa are destined for Uganda. But at the same time, the market, Kenya is an important market for Uganda, and so is Uganda. The market of Kenyan goods in Uganda is actually bigger volumes of Kenyan goods go to Uganda. So when we come for this strategic intervention, we are saying we are here for the long haul. We are here together for a long time. We are a permanent mission here, and therefore these developments that come up, we are greatly associated with them. The statistics keep growing. The statistics keep growing, and you know, of late, many Ugandans flock to the coastal region. And at the same time, many Kenyans are flowing. Uganda is the second largest market, tourism market coming, or tourists coming to Uganda, rather to Kenya. But also we are saying Kenya is sends the highest number of tourists to Uganda. So these two markets are inseparable. We need each other, and we keep growing every other year. So the statistics, I think the last time I checked, over 460,000 Kenyans had traveled to Uganda. And that is a very big plus for us.
All right, welcome back, and we are seated once again. This time we are talking about the state of our nation, and I'm joined by young brilliant minds, which is Sylvia and Mudhoni Mugambi and Amani Joshua, who are youth leaders, very open-minded. But I don't know if I can say that for Amani because it's from the Linda Mwananchi faction. But allow me to have the guests introduce themselves to you. Let me begin from Flavian.
Hello, good morning. My name is Flavian Mugambi. I come from Kiambu County. I'm a youth leader, a community developer, and also I advocate for the spaces of young people in the Republic of Kenya. Yes, that's a short, brief introduction.
Thank you, Amani.
Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Amani Joshua. I'm the National Youth Coordinator, Linda Mwananchi, Young Patriots. I'm also a youth leader nationally, who advocate for the youth leadership. I champion for the youth leadership in this nation, Kenya. Thank you so much.
Let me just begin from you, Amani, just right there where you are. Youth Coordinator, National Youth Coordinator, Linda Mwananchi. What are your plans? Are you planning to form a party? Are you planning to just be everyone for himself and joining each other with the goal of one term, or what's the plan?
Thank you so much. It is really a polarized question, and I will really not go ahead of the time before my leaders in Linda Mwananchi, because they are the one who knows their plan. We are just following them because they are like-minded people, and what I can say is only we are trying to mobilize people to be one, because for us to win this election coming 2027, for us to get this one enemy of us, who is William Ruto, out of power, we have to be one. So we are, first of all, we are trying to be one. We mobilize people, first of all, to be one, to speak one language as a nation. That is what I can see our leaders from Linda Mwananchi, being led by Edwin Sifuna, Babu Wino, James Bob Agre-Orengo, they are really doing. I cannot just be ahead of time to say that we are going to form a party, or rather, you know, I don't just want to be ahead of time.
What would you want as a person? Because you are someone of your own mind. If I am to elect you, because I presume you would want to get to office, I'll need to know your plans. So what are your plans with Linda Mwananchi?
My plans with Linda Mwananchi at its own, it's an agenda, first of all. Contrary to Linda Ground, because Linda Mwananchi simply means that we are protecting the people, and when you protect the people, you must first of all understand the language of the people before you protect them. And so as me, I would like Linda Mwananchi to produce a presidential candidate. We must have a presidential candidate from Linda Mwananchi as a faction. Yeah.
All right. They say, Flavian, that a divided opposition, a divided majority is worse than a united minority. That's what is happening in the country right now. From I know Mani will say that that's like a very media production, but then from the Infotract report that was released yesterday, we had President William Ruto leading. I presume it's because they have an agenda that they have said that we are going this direction. We are joining hands with UDA. We are joining hands with ODM. We are joining hands with PAO. We are joining hands with okay, the other ones, they dissolved their party. But then they're having a clear agenda. This is where we are going. And I presume that is what led to them leading in the polls that was released yesterday by Infotract. On the other hand, we have the opposition, who are money here. They don't know where they're going. They're waiting for their leaders to decide for them where they will be going, because it is too early for them to decide. Do you think that they stand a chance to convince the masses of where they're going if they themselves don't know where they're going?
One thing I think I want to be very clear as the things are currently. As we see, I think the opposition that is there is very, very, very disintegrated. It's not compact as they seem to be, or as they think they are. And what I want to say is, to us as young people, all we want is our space. What is our space in the leadership and governance of this country? That's our concern. If it's our young people in Linda Mwananchi, if it's the young people in those opposition, but above all, who are these people that are forming the government? Where are we? Where are our elective positions in as far as the leadership is concerned? So our clarion call is, let young people upfront themselves in these spots. Let them stand for these MCAs, these MPs, these senator seats, and above all, we already have the formation of the UDA party, which is very vibrant. You can see they're already everywhere campaigning day in, day out. They're already there doing the empowerment. They're already there advertising their projects. And above all also, you can see they're already compact. In as much as people think they're the minority, they are compact and well structured. And that's one thing that is very different from the other side of the opposition space, because the opposition is disintegrated. The other day you heard Gachagua gatekeeping Olkalao, saying that Rirongo cannot come to Olkalao, let him go to this other thing. That's also, those are differences, those are cracks that we can see in this other side. But to me, my position remains, let young people upfront themselves, let them get in the table, let them speak their mind, let them get involved with the policy formulation, let them get involved in the development of this country in general.
Amani, let me give you a right to respond. Flavian here is saying that the young people should be given a right to, be at the decision-making table. Being a national leader, coordinator, means you have the position at the table. Do you have a voice?
Yes, I have a voice, and most of the time I find a privilege of meeting with the top leaders, including Edwin Watenya Sifuna, Babu Wino. I speak on behalf of the youths, okay? When they have any problem, they just send me, I go, I represent them there. I have a voice there. And let me correct something here. I've just heard you say that we don't know where we are going. We really know where we are going. We know where we are going. And that's why the government is really afraid of us, sending goons to distract all of our rallies, peaceful rallies, because they know what we are doing. It is just a political tactic they are trying to use. If you are entangled, if you are associated with the political analyst, political scientist, they will tell you it's a tactic we are trying to use. We cannot tell William Ruto our agenda right now, because if indeed that the best time will come for us to reveal our best candidates in opposition, and the best time will come for us to sell the agenda, because right now when we give out our candidates, or when we give out our agenda, William Ruto will use any means to sabotage us in opposition. Because he's a political animal. He's not just someone who will underrate. He's a guy who has been in politics right from 90s. In Moi's, he has served in Moi's regime, in Kibaki's regime, in Uhuru's regime. Now he is in his own regime. That is not just the guy who will just wake up a day and just underrate him like that. So we really know where we are going. Let me shock you. 2027, it will be worse.
Okay. You really know where you're going, you just won't tell us. How are we supposed to follow you guys if we don't know where we are going?
Time is coming. We'll reveal everything. The best time is coming. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get to the headlines that you're having this morning. We have the People Daily who are saying that President Ruto and the gun violence now, they're talking of what transpired in Kisumu and of course in Nyanda, what transpired in the country, what is currently happening in the country concerning guns. Flavian, I'd like to get your opinion on what do you think about how we are handling the gun situation in the country, from the Interior Ministry to the President to our local leaders to sisi vijana, how we handle the Gunism culture in the country. What do you think about it?
I think there's a thing called root cause analysis. What is the root cause of Gunism? There's a language called Wasakatonge. Wasakatonge, these are young hustlers who have no job and they're looking for some cheddar, tunes. I know that's where the engagement of guns come from. Because when you don't have something and you hang around these leaders, that is the token that you get in as far as the... And Gunism is everywhere. It is not only limited to the government side, because probably most of the politicians have their teams, have their goons to distract, to bring psych to the crowds, to chant, to do all those things. So it's a thing that we can have a conversation in a very broad spectrum, not only pinpointing one side of the space. I'm not saying that we don't have the government goods. Probably they are there, because sometimes you see the police are not reacting adequately to the violences that are being happening. But above all, these politicians and the root cause of all this Gunism. If we tame the political spaces, we are taming Gunism, and that's my clarion call. Because most of the politicians, 99 or 90% of the politicians have goons, have bred goons, which are the Wasakatonge that I was talking about. The young people are jobless. The second thing is, how do we bring on board these young people to get these jobs? Which spaces are we engaging these young people? Because now for you to halt the Gunism, you have to bring a solution to the Gunism thing, which is now bringing more spaces for employment and empowerment, and also taming the political spaces that we have. Yeah.
We have this on everyone's knowledge. It is a common knowledge that we have government goons, we have, kuna goons hadi wa mashamba wa miradi. So it's not like the government does not know this thing. Why do you think the government is really doing nothing?
Yeah, to me, I think there are a lot of avenues. I think sometime back we had the security barazas, which were conducted by the Ministry of Interior Security, bringing on board now the security agenda in marginalized areas. And I think some of the things, because I attended a few security barazas in Kiambu County, some of the things that we pinpointed was the breeding of Gunism and now the lawlessness in our communities. Whether the place that I come from, it is one of the most insecure places in this country, because I come from a ghetto. But we live with those people. We tame them. We bring them on board. We bring them in community development matters like agriculture. A lot of goons that are coming from my area are now farmers. Some of the people that I tame them. There are a lot of spaces that we can do to tame the Gunism hell. We don't have to rely much on the government, but leadership starts from the ground. Where are we starting? You as a leader, you as the national coordinator of Linda Mwananchi, which role are you playing to make sure you tame, in one or the other, the breeding of Gunism and the lawlessness in your community? Start with your community. Then from your community, we can advance further to talking to having the agenda of the government, to having the agenda of the international community, because it's also it's structural. It's brings from the scratch to getting the solutions here, then now to these other spaces that we have. If there are avenues where we can bring on board these people, where they can bring on board these people to the table to also matters development, matters voting, matters national coordination. I think that's a good way to tame this space. But government, in one or the other, they also have to tighten their belt in as far as Gunism is concerned.
All right. Now, from your root analysis, getting to arrest goons like we normally see politicians talk on every screen, that they were saying they were not arrested, that might not really heal our country from goonism.
Let me tell you something. It is not easy to arrest those goons because they're called the political godfathers. You might arrest a goon somewhere here in a police station, and a few calls might be made to the police station, and probably the revenues out. You know the other. The political space should be tamed. I think some time back I did something with NCSC, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, to integrate my community, and those are some of the things that we discussed when they came in my area. I think if we have more avenues now to discuss those things in depth, we can get to the root cause and cure the goonism, because also the political temperatures play a very big role in breeding of these goons.
Okay.
Because of the political godfathering and all that. Yeah.
All right. Now, Mani, talk to us about what you think about goonism in the country, how we should tame it, and of course, in relation to the report that was also released, that there is 87% chances that we might have political violence in 2027. With the rise of this, how can we tame goonism and ensure that come 2027 we have peaceful elections in the country?
Thank you. You see, it is so unfortunate that the Ministry of Interior has failed to curb the rise of organized criminals, popularly known as goons. This is because we have what we call economic disparitions. Nearly 800,000 youths get into the labor market annually to compete for 100,000 jobs available. And so this one creates a vast pool of differentialized young people. So these politicians, political elites, they actually exploit these young people. They exploit these, they take an advantage of this unemployment, converting young people into political intimidations and violent mobilization. So my brother here has just said that, I've just heard him saying that, when these goons are arrested, one phone call will release them. We've been seeing clips where goons are being escorted by police officers. We've been seeing clips where goons are walking alongside police officers, and nothing is, we just take it as a normal thing. It is abnormal, yet we convert it to be a normal thing. We are really living in a nation that this kakistocratic government is now shifting from diplomatic governance to what we call political bravado. Political bravado is where you use kinds of intimidation, you public chest stamping, and for you to intimidate the political opponent, you must use these kinds of goons. There's no way CS and PS for Interior, that is Amolo and Murkomen, they will come out and say that they are going to arrest these goons because they know them. They're the people who are actually operating with these goons. They know them very well because we've been seeing clips. These goons who are being used to disrupt peaceful political rallies. They are being used to disrupt peaceful protests so that they may not take place. So what I can just say, this kakistocratic government of William Ruto, it has got no space. There is no way William Ruto can say that he will end the goons, yet he's the one who is owning these goons. Because his people, Kipchumba Murkomen and PS Omola, they know these goons. The other day, Murkomen came out to the media and said that he knows of 180 groups of this militia terror or these goons He knows them, and he knows the people who wants them. He actually knows the high-ranking leaders in the government who wants them. Now, we've not seen him taking an action of arresting these people, rather prosecuting them, bringing them on board so that at least we may see them taking action. My brother here, I see he's speaking a language of, I think, defending the government. He doesn't understand the government. This is a government that raises you and brings you down. It's a government that, I can say in simple terms, a mother who gives birth to a baby and still kills the baby. So unfortunate. So there's no way this government, aristocratic government of William Ruto, will come and tell us that they can end this good. And this is how we are actually, we are entering, or rather we are sinking slowly into anarchy. Because the other day, here, Thika Road, we saw armed goons who actually prevented the transportation process. And no any police officer, no any police boss, no any government leader came out to condemn such a scenario. And then you want to tell me that this government will end goons? It means these are the government that owns these goons. In our political rallies, very peaceful. You saw the other day in Nyahururu, you saw what they did. In Nyandaro, you saw what they did. So there's no way you can say that. He's saying that each political leader in either side, either opposition or government, they own goons. I really want to disagree with that statement. It is the government that owns goons, not the opposition. Because if really the opposition owns goons, then it means that the opposition is more powerful than the government. It means that the opposition can command the police to protect the goons. Yes.
Hapo umetudanganya lakini ni sawa tu. But yes, because we are saying that
we've been seeing clips. We've been seeing clips where the police are protecting the goons. They walk alongside the goons. So if you want to say that the opposition owns the goons, so it means the opposition can command the police in the broad daylight of the government which is in power, watching opposition commanding the goons to protect their goons.
So when there is clashes between opposition comes and government comes, is it that it is fans who are fighting for the opposition, or is it that it's because we are saying that almost every faction, almost every politician has mbogi of protecting him in the name of security, which later on turns to goons?
Have you heard Murkomen's talking about goons? What is his statement? He will come out saying, oh, it is Rigathi Gachagwa's goons, it is the opposition goons. Then I want to dare him. If it is really Rigathi Gachagwa's goons or the opposition, let him come and arrest these goons. Yes, because the people who are in power, they have the power.
Okay. Let's get a reaction from Flavian.
Yeah, I think I've listened to my brother here, and one thing, I've not had any solution to those, and that's one thing, a clear call I want to make to each and every young leader in this country. I was listening to Kibaki a few years ago when he was giving speeches, and he was saying, wewe unafanyia nchi nini? What are you doing for the country? For the country to also help you. You as a leader, whichever space you might be a religious leader, you might be a youth leader, you might be an institutional leader, you might be a political leader. What are some of the solutions that you guys have? You know, you can't have an agenda around a person. This is who, this is nini, this is all those probably will end. What are the solutions to those scenarios in whichever space that you are? What are some of the things that you are tabling to bring on board the neutralization of this violence and this goonism in the country, or probably order in whichever spaces that you guys are? So I think my cruel inquiry is, do we have solutions first? If you have solutions, how can we table them? Where do we direct these solutions? Because already the government is there. We can do nothing in the meantime till probably 2027 when we have our elections and stuff. But currently, in whichever space that we are, have you interacted with the Deputy County Commissioner to have a conversation on that? Have you tabled your views on that so that they can have their reforms on that angle? Because I think there's structures, and the structures operate structurally. We can talk a lot outside here, but without tabling our concern, without acting directly, there's no impact that we can do without doing that. We can talk all day for popularization, for influence, for the numbers, but now, are we making any impact whichever space of leadership that you are. Which are some of the tangible changes that we've made? Which are some of the tangible policies that we've made? What are some of the tangible acts that people can foresee and say, then I'm looking up to the order, the conscience, the discipline of this certain type of a leader. So I think my side is, let's come up with solutions in whichever spaces that we are.
Okay.
I'm not supporting any side of the speak, but I'm talking about leadership. I'm generalizing leadership. If you're a leader, play that role diligently, efficiently, and effectively.
All right. That is fair. Let's move to something different about the opinion poll of Infotrack, where they're saying, this is the Daily Nation, they're saying no clear winner, and they're saying that there will be no outright winner if a presidential election were to be held today. A run of vote is likely a new poll shows. And of course, this is in relation, we all know that report. We all know that for you to become a president, you have to have the 50+1 votes, leading in majority of the regions for you to become the president. And right now, for the state house race, we have the leader being, according to the polls, of course, being President William Ruto with 32%, followed by Kalonzo with 13%, Matiang'i and Sifuna tie at 12%. We have Gachagua at 4%, Babu at 3%, Maraga at 2%, and finally Martha Karua at 1%. And also we have presidential flag bearers that is in opposition. We still have Kalonzo leading with 27%, Matiang'i with 26%, Sifuna, Gachagua 19%, 9% respectively. We have Maraga at 3%, Karua at 2%, and Natembea at 1%, Omalo at 1%. So that is according to the Infotrack report. Of course, we also have Kindiki being preferred as the most likely candidate as the preferred candidate to be under President William Ruto, despite, I know you don't like what were broad-based, but what were broad-based wanataka power, they also want to like a fair share of their own. But now I want us to talk about these opinion polls. Why is this so? Because we keep saying that Kenyans hawataki President William Ruto, wanataka one term, but then the polls are saying a different story. Let me get from your money.
Thank you. You see, I will really say those are sponsored polls, because no one really wants this government. How can the youths, because the youths are the one with a large number, so how can the youths be in need of this government, the government that lied to them? Is it not President William Ruto who came out the other day when he was campaigning saying that he will create 1 million jobs, and then came out with affordable housing, that kind of a beast that is eating Kenyans? He created 650,000 jobs, but which are temporary, not even permanent. Tell me, a student from Kenyatta University who has just done economic engineering, or rather any type of engineering, go there, apply for that job, you'll find there's some kinds of mismatch. Because in our 844, rather in our academic education system, we are taught of white collar jobs. We are never taught of these kinds of labor on hands, kazi ya mkono. So you find that the only job that you can find in affordable housing is kazi ya mkono. And then you want to tell me someone who has just done engineering, medical science, laboratory science will go there because there is no job. There are no jobs even for the laboratory science people. So we'll go there at the affordable housing site looking for a job. The only thing you will get there is kazi ya mkono. So a parent wastes more than millions of shillings in school, yet the outcome of it is, you see. So there is no youth who can elect President William Ruto because he's lying. He's lying. He's lying on cameras. He's lying everywhere. When he comes here, he lies.
But you know, we've had Infotrack do several reports. The previous ones, President Ruto was defeated by the opposition. The previous polls, President William Ruto was defeated by opposition. By that time, we didn't hear any of the opposition figures saying that the polls are paid or something like that. By that time, we had the president, the the government side saying that, you know, these are, in fact, they're asking, have you ever been interviewed? Have you ever been asked that question? Who does these interviews? By that time, right now, the narrative is shifting. Why the double speak?
Let me tell you, this guy has weaponized poverty in such a way that, let me just tell you, this guy has weaponized poverty in such a way that he will come, he makes you broke to a point that when he gives you 2,000 shillings, you'll just do whatever you want to do. Whatever he says you will do. But now, the real polls, or rather the real info tract will come during the polls on 2027, the ballot 2027. That is where he will see dust. Because this is what they're trying to show him is just they're trying to make him at least be happy. The polls are just trying to make him be happy. But in 2027 on the real poll, which is the ballot box, he will see dust.
Okay. Fair enough. Sylvia, let me get your opinion on this one.
Yeah, I want to give my views on the leaders on the info track because I just want to give my views right from the president down to Martha Karua. To the president, is right on toes. You know, politics are local. Politics are not on social media, chanting, and no. Politics are local. The numbers. Do you have the numbers? How engaged are you to the local game? Because that's where the numbers are. In social media, you can do all this, you can be very influential there, but ground matters. Do you have the ground? Ruto, I think he has engaged much in the ground. All this mobilization, all these Nyota projects, all those are the numbers. All those that is where the votes will come from. Let's go to Kalonzo. Kalonzo, I don't think he has another new to bring on board in as far as policies and change and development of the country is concerned. But he's a good leader. He's a very good lawyer. He's a very good diplomat. He can play a part in the leadership of this country. I love Sifuna. We have engaged severally during the people's dialogue and stuff. And I have nothing against Sifuna, but he's a vicious leader. To me, Sifuna is our project. He can make a good president in the future. But currently, I don't think he's well established. He's well structured and established fully to clinch a win. But he's a dope person. The leaders, the youthful generation that is brought together in Leader Mwananchi, I love that. Also love how they operate. To the rest, Akina Mother, she's okay, but I don't think the numbers will favor her. We talk of Natembea. Today is a very disciplined leader. I love the discipline he possesses in that side of Western region. But no, the national figure, is lacking that national bravery to bring on both regions of the country and rally behind him. So I think I'm not giving my best shot, but I think the time will tell when the right time comes. We'll also choose sides. Yeah.
All right. Now, the Standard are talking of the irony, still on matters goons, but let's not get into goons further because I think we've explored matters goons. I want to ask let's talk about the elections and IEBC's mandate and what it's doing for the country in terms of us gaining confidence in IEBC. We have the Kalau by-elections, which will be happening the day after tomorrow, that's on Thursday. And a lot of questions have been raised concerning the confidence that we should be having on IEBC. We had jitters of postponement of the elections and all that. So let me begin from your money. Do you feel confident with IEBC? Do you have trust in IEBC?
Thank you. I will only have a trust after the Olkalau by-elections. That is where, when the IEBC conducts itself in a right manner, then I will see on how, whether to trust it or not. Yeah. After the Olkalau by-elections, then the IEBC trust will be revealed to the people.
What will make you think that they should be trusted? What outcome are you expecting?
You see, it's just some few days. Yesterday was the D-Day for the campaigns of the Olkalau by-elections, and you saw what was actually happening. It was actually against the constitution and the law. When you go by the penal code and the IEBC laws, it was actually pure bribery. people are being given this and so that they may vote. So this all tells you how the IEBC conducts itself in a very kind of heinous manner. And so that's why I'm telling you, I will just have my trust in IEBC, right or wrong. If at all, I'm just waiting for this by-election, the Olkalau by-election, so that it reveals to me how how I can trust them, either negatively or positive.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we've come a long way with the Electoral Commission, right from the days of VCK to the 2007 post-election violence, to Raila Odinga's time when he was fighting for these reforms, to the election, to the 2017 election where the elections were nullified, and Raila refused to go for the rerun because of the reforms that were to be made in the IBC and the commissioners. So it's a long journey. And I think, to me, it's a fight that we have to work on as a country, because now the electoral body affects the nation at large. Because from the days of opposition to the days of the government, it's a big wrangle, I can say. And I think, to me, the long-term concern is the reforms. What are some of the reforms that we are looking up to, in as far as the electoral bodies of the country are concerned? So I think, to me, is the long-term project, the long-term plan that we can work on in the IBC. But to me, I'm saying, let the will of the people prevail in Olkalau and any other part of the country that is having a by-election or the election at large. Yes.
So do you have trust in IEBC?
Currently, I have my ratio. Because from the voter registration times, we saw the mobilization that they did. But no, we are yet to see how they conduct this. There was another tough tie for the government and the opposition there. But I think this is the real litmus test of the IBC. The Olkalau election is the one we are looking up to. If the will of the people prevails, then we are very confident with the current. We'll be very confident with the electoral body come 2027. Yeah.
Just to mention that there are currently allegations that some of the people who registered in the mass voter registration, they claim that their names are not in the voters register. I don't know if that is true, but it's still, let's just call it right now, an allegations. Now, as we bring this to an end, I'd like to get your opinions on how you think the country is faring in terms of the state of our nation, economics, education, health. How do you think the country is faring, and how can we help our country do better? Let me begin from you.
Oh, thank you. And first of all, I'll start by encouraging the youths in both sides of the political sides, that we should deviate from this kind of political destabilization. These kinds of politicians, they want to use us to opt to their own gains, and so they are really taking advantage of this unemployment issue. And but I just want to tell them, like, it is soon. This is it's just a problem that is taking place right now, and it is going to be over once the Edwin Sifuna and the rest of the leaders from Linda's Mwananchi take this government, and the youth will enjoy. I've been seeing the health issue, the health coverage issue, whereby people are claiming that the SHA is not working, yet the government leaders, are saying that the SHA is working. So I really want to encourage also our leaders to listen to the people, because the people are the one who elected them. And I also want to say that a leader cannot just come and say that things are well if things are not well, because, for example, the cash flow, you will just know if the economy is not well from the common Mwananchi, because he's the one who is entangling or associating with the money. Because these leaders have got high money, they've looted a lot, so they cannot just come and tell you that the economy is not well, because they have a lot of money. But a common Mwananchi who is really struggling on the ground is the one who will come and tell you that really the economy is bad. So leaders, you have to listen from common Mwananchi the way Edwin Sifuna and other leaders from Linda Mwananchi are doing. Really listening to the voice of the people who elected them, not the leaders who are taking people's money, taking their interests in front, instead of reinforcing and spearheading the interest of common wananchi. I also want to address the issue of goonism and say that for goonism to end in Kenya, this government must also go home. Because for you to destroy a snake generation completely, you kill a snake together with its eggs. You destroy them completely. In fact, you burn them. You burn the bush completely. So these leaders are the people who are financing the goons. So whenever or at any point we get these leaders out of office coming 2027, then we will have already created a very good move, because these goons will go together with their leaders. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Amani. Flavor?
To me, I think I can say the government should listen more, because when it comes to health, youth unemployment, we are not where we should be as a country. That's my view. We should be we are way below our par, and we should be somewhere, because as a country we have expertise, enough brains, enough energy to spearhead this country to the next step. The government should listen more, because as a young person, si tunaumia, hakuna job, hakuna nini. Let the government listen. I think that's one thing I want to tell the government. Let them listen to us. Let them listen to their country. Let them listen to the temperatures. I have nothing against whichever side, but let them listen, because they have done something on the STEM side, on the hard jobs and nini, and empowering young people in those spaces. But above all, there's more that can be done to bring on board each and every person in whichever spaces, people with disabilities, people in marginalized areas, people in metropolitan spaces. I think we have a lot. The only thing that they should do is listen and bring on board. Bring on board these young people. They have a lot to offer. I think that's one thing. We're not integrating that space for young people in the national development and the policy formulation of this country. That's one gap that we are lacking.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And what should we be doing for our country?
Already I pinpointed a few things. Do something. Learn a skill. Implement a skill. Before waiting for the government to give you something, be doing something in the course. We have this place you can do agriculture. You can learn some technical skill and implement that technical skill, as you also expect other things or other space or other opportunities from the government and beyond, because it's not only the government that employs. There's the private sector that is there. There are the corporate entities that are there to help you. There are the organizations that are the international and local organizations. So I think there are a lot of spaces. There are the voluntary work. You can also volunteer. As you volunteer also, you're also doing something for the country. Just help in whichever spaces that you are. If it's leadership, lead with precision. If you're in agriculture, do it to your level best, and also bring on board more people. Empower others. If you're doing it, empower others. Make people learn that skill. Make people implement that skill, so that we all grow as a country. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time for us. That has been Sylvia and Muthoni Mugambi, and of course, Amani Joshua, who have joined us this morning to discuss the state of the nation. And of course, you heard the views of the young people concerning the state of the nation. It is a mixed reaction. So let's end it at that. We are playing a feature, and then we'll come back later on.
During a learning and exchange session organized at Kenyatta University by the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, students at Kenyatta University got a glimpse of what pharmacy practice looks like in the United States. Professor Van Helleslier, a clinical professor from Temple